Hey! Hey, everybody. This is Dan Harms. I'm giving you a rundown of Lesson 6 for Confirmation. And I just want to give you a quick tutorial on what is going on with this lesson. All right, Lesson 6 is about 3 different things. First and foremost, it's about going through the Mass itself. So what will the Confirmation Mass? What are the different components to a Confirmation Mass? How is it different than a regular Mass? And what can the teens expect to experience when they go through the Mass? Why do we do the things that we do? What will they see, hear, experience, say, do? Why do we do all those things? And what is the significance to the sacrament? The number 2 thing that we're going to cover is saint names. We're going to answer some questions about that. And the number 3 thing that we're going to cover is sponsors. Talk about your sponsors and choosing a sponsor. So let's dive into it real quick. You have an attachment on your email that has Dan's notes for Lesson 6. You also have the diocesan lesson for Lesson 6, and you have an article from RCL Benzinger Publishers about the confirmation liturgy, or the rite of confirmation. All of these resources kind of go over the same content. And that content is this, that the Mass can be broken down into different segments and parts, right? There's a part of the beginning where we announce each one of the students' names. The kids will all stand up in their pews when we announce their names, right? So they'll all be presented to the bishop. And actually, a special note, our Mass, our confirmation Masses, are going to be done by Monsignor Lane, not Bishop DiLorenzo. So it's perfectly acceptable to have a designate of the bishop come to do the confirmations. So Monsignor Lane will be there. We will present all the confirmation candidates to him. We'll do a renewal of baptismal vows for everybody. And really what this is us recommitting to what we believe, right? And saying, yes, these are things that I am committing to through my baptism, and we are completing our baptism in confirmation. So it's important that we renew our baptismal vows. And it's important that we kind of talk about what that means, what those baptismal vows are. All of that is explained in each one of the resources that are attached to your email. Further, we go on, we'll talk about the laying on of hands that happens during the confirmation, the anointing with chrism oil, and then the actual process and procedure of, what do you do? What do you say? When you go up to Monsignor, what do you say to him? What does he say to you? What's your response supposed to be? All of that information is in this lesson. So it's good. It's excellent for the kids to kind of know exactly what is going on in the confirmation Mass, so they're not just sitting there kind of bewildered. After that, once you kind of take a look at that information, we're going to be covering saint names. Here in the Diocese of Richmond, the bishop does not require you to choose a saint name. It's not requisite at all. If you were baptized with a Christian name, then that name is good and perfect. And the bishop assumes that your parents or godparents who helped kind of decide on that baptismal name did so with the guidance of the Holy Spirit and did it for good reason. So if you are, baptized John or Susan or Claire or Mary, whatever, kind of normal Christian names, bingo, those are perfect. You do not have to choose a new saint name. If you were baptized with the name Running Horse, or I don't know, Topeka or something, right? Something that's not a Christian name, you're not sure you could pin down a saint who's Saint Topeka, then that person should probably start looking for a Christian name to be confirmed with. Finally, if you have a saint that you have like a really strong affection for, Saint John Bosco or something, or Saint Bartholomew or Saint Cecilia, whatever, then you can go ahead and choose that saint name. There's certainly nothing wrong with choosing a saint name. The bishop just really likes to stand behind the parents and the godparents who have supported you under this saint name up to this point in your life. As far as a sponsor, how to pick a sponsor, we've mentioned this a couple different times over the months. A sponsor has 3 different criteria. All right, the sponsor must be confirmed. The sponsor must be a practicing Catholic in good standing with the church, right? So there's nothing in this person's life that would prohibit this person from actually being in full communion with the church. They haven't been excommunicated at some point. They're fully capable and in good standing to receive communion. So somebody who's a good Catholic, they need to be Catholic. I know there's lots of people who are good spiritual people of other denominations and other faith backgrounds. Those are great people. But for the sacrament of confirmation, your sponsor needs to be a practicing Catholic. So the person needs to be confirmed, the person needs to be Catholic, and the person needs to not be your parent. All right, that's kind of an important piece, is that they cannot be your parent. That's a canon law piece that I don't fully grasp, but I have great faith that there's good reason behind it. And so that's it. So if you have an older sibling that has already been confirmed, that person is fine to be your sponsor. If somebody you know that you're really close to, that you kind of look up to as a great model and example of faith, and that person was confirmed maybe last year, that's fine. You can choose that person to be your confirmation sponsor. It doesn't have to be a grandma or whatever. The other thing with confirmation sponsors is that some of our sponsors, some of the people that we have good relationships with, might live out of town or might not be able to make it here for May 20th or 21st, which are our dates for confirmation. That's fine. I am more concerned with somebody actually being a good sponsor and you having a good relationship with them, an active relationship where you kind of talk and you are comfortable having conversations with them. You feel like they really do live out their faith and they're a good model for you in helping to guide you and lead you in the faith. I'm more concerned with you finding a person like that than I am concerned with you finding a warm body to be with you at the Mass. In those circumstances, what we do is a proxy sponsor. So somebody stands in the place of your sponsor. All right. And that's fine. It happens every year. It's not a big deal, but I really want you to find somebody that you look up to, that you have a relationship with, or you would like to have a relationship with, and can kind of open the door to that relationship through asking them to be a sponsor. How do you ask the person to be a sponsor? I don't know. How do you ask somebody to prom? You probably don't want to ask your sponsor the same way that you'd ask somebody to prom, but pick up a phone, write them a letter, go over and visit them in human flesh. That's kind of a nice thing. So it's cool. The sponsorship thing is an important piece. And so we're going to talk about that both at this lesson in small groups and at the lesson on April 19th in a large group. All right, so those are the main pieces of the lesson. All of the documentation and stuff is in your email. Feel free to call me or email me with any questions. The stuff is it's pretty simple. The whole Mass is laid out, and there's an explanation for each little segment, and we're just asking you to kind of go through that with the teens. And then the diocese, in their resource, they also have a quiz that you can give, which is kind of a fun thing if you're dorky and you like quizzes. But you can throw that quiz out to people on the front end of the lesson and see how they do, and then go through the lesson, and then talk about how people got things correct or incorrect. Good. One of the other pieces, the last piece that I'm going to mention here, is I have on the lesson a question just to throw out to everybody as just a quick question. What is confirmation? Confirmation candidates, even though we've been in this for a long time, have a really difficult time answering this question. So we're going to hit this a couple times over the next few weeks and months, and it's just looking to answer it. I give out a full rundown of what confirmation is and what confirmation is not in the text. They've heard me explain it before, and I'll explain it again. So look for that in Dan's notes on lesson 6. That's it. The website has a lot of information. There's also a page on there where you can submit what your official spelling is of your saint name, and you can tell me who your sponsor is going to be. So that way I have all that information dropped in one location. And finally, we've got a couple of events coming up that are going to be awesome. One that most people are not going to be able to hit because your meeting will be after it is on Saturday, the 21st, coming up this weekend. There's a guest speaker who's going to be coming into St. Bridget, and from 10 a.m. until noon, he's going to do a youth day. Guy Rich Curran, I really, really like him, and he's an awesome speaker. And it'd be well worth people's time to come for 2 hours on Saturday. So there's that. Encourage people to come to that if they would like. And then there's also this flyer, which I will include for everybody. You can't see it because it's whatever. There's light shining through it. But this flyer has all kinds of information about upcoming events that we have going on. I'd really like you to promote and push, like the adoration night is going to be done after Palm Sunday. It's just a cool night and a great time for us to come together and pray, particularly in preparation for the sacrament of confirmation. If we're going to be serious about praying for the sacrament, let's actually take some time and pray and do something. Additionally to that, we've got a couple pro-life events that are coming up that'll be great, so we can actually put our faith into action. And then there's a service event coming up on April 18th, where we are going to be making gift baskets for people who live in homes. That's a big thing, who are shut-ins, who are unhealthy and can't get out of their houses. So all that is good stuff. Check your email. Please send me a message if you have any questions. Thank you so much for the work that you do and for loving these teens. I appreciate it. God bless and take care. Bye-bye.